Discipline is the bridge between goals and success. Everybody wants success. Everybody has dreams, but very few are willing to cross that bridge called discipline. You can talk about your goals all day. You can write them down in notebooks. You can visualize them, but until you're willing to put in consistent effort every single day, those goals will remain dreams. Discipline is that invisible force that connects your ambition to achievement. It's the habit of doing what you say you do long after the feeling has left you. That's the true test. Most people get excited at the beginning. They feel motivated when they set a goal. They talk about it, post about it, maybe even start strong. But as soon as it gets hard, as soon as the results don't show up fast enough, they slow down. That's where the bridge starts to collapse for most people. Discipline is what keeps the bridge standing when motivation fades. It's what carries you from the moment you start to the moment you start to the moment you succeed. Without discipline, even the best goal is just a wish. You can't wish your way to success. You've got to work your way there step by step, day by day. Think about it. Every person who has achieved greatness didn't rely on talent alone. Talent is nice, but it's not enough. Talent can get you noticed, but discipline will keep you relevant. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you don't show up consistently, if you don't push yourself when it's uncomfortable, your potential will die unused. Discipline is the difference between being good for a moment and being great for a lifetime. It's the foundation every success story is built on. You can't skip that. Discipline is also about making the tough choices. It's choosing progress over pleasure, long-term gains over short-term comfort. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's getting up early when you'd rather sleep, studying when you'd rather scroll, working out when you'd rather rest. Every choice you make either builds your bridge or breaks it. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen your connection to your goal. Every time you give in to comfort, that bridge weakens. You can't cross a weak bridge to success. It takes strength, and that strength is built through daily discipline. There will be times when nobody understands why you're doing what you're doing. You'll sacrifice things people call normal. You'll spend hours alone grinding, preparing, learning, and it'll feel like you're missing out. But you're not missing out. You're investing. Discipline is an investment in your future self. The pain you feel today becomes the power you'll carry tomorrow. The effort you give now becomes the success story you'll live later. That's the reward of discipline. You don't see it immediately, but one day it pays off in ways that comfort never could. Look at any athlete, artist, or entrepreneur who made it to the top. Behind their success are years of discipline that no one saw. Early mornings, late nights, repeated failure, and the courage to keep going. That's discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not always fun, but it's always worth it. The bridge of discipline is built through repetition, through consistency, through doing the small things with excellent. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time because of daily discipline action. Discipline also builds trust, not with others, but with yourself. Every time you follow through on what you said you do, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You start to realize you can rely on you. That's powerful because when you trust yourself, you stop doubting, you stop hesitating, you stop second guessing your dreams. You move with confidence because you know you'll do what it takes. Discipline creates that inner power. It silences excuse. It replaces doubt with certainty. It turns intentions into achievements. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't natural. You're not born with it. It's something you train, something you build. The same way muscles grow through resistance, discipline grows through challenge. The more you resist giving up, the stronger your discipline becomes. Every time you push through fatigue, distraction, or fear, you're building that bridge. And the more you walk it, the more unshakable it becomes. One day, the things that once felt impossible will become routine because your discipline transformed you. Discipline is also about alignment, aligning your actions with your purpose. It's easy to talk about what you want, but if your actions don't match your words, it means nothing. If you say you want success, your lifestyle should reflect that. If you say you want growth, your habits should show it. Discipline aligns your daily behavior with your ultimate vision. It's the glue that keeps your purpose and practice together. Without it, you'll always feel stuck between where you are and where you want to be. Discipline beats motivation every single time. Motivation is temporary. It's that spark that gets you started, But discipline is the fire that keeps you going when the spark dies out. Motivation depends on emotion, and emotions change like the weather. One day you feel unstoppable, the next you feel drained. If you only act when you're motivated, you'll never build consistency. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you're committed to. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether you're excited or exhausted, inspired or uninterested. That's why the most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. Think about it. How many times you told yourself, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll do it when I'm in the mood? And how many times did that moment never come? That's because motivation is not dependable. It fades the moment things get difficult. But discipline, once developed, becomes your automatic response. It becomes your identity. You don't have to feel like doing something when it's part of who you are. A disciplined person doesn't wait for a perfect move. They create results through consistent action. When you wake up early in the morning and the bed feels too comfortable, motivation might whisper, it's okay, rest a little more. But discipline speaks louder. It said, you made a promise to yourself and it's time to keep it. That's the voice of champions. That's the voice of those who understand that feelings don't build empire, habits do. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows when you use it. Every time you push through resistance, you strengthen that muscle. Every time you act despite not feeling like it, you take power away from your emotions and give it to your purpose. People often misunderstand what discipline really is. They think it's punishment or restriction, but it's actually the greatest form of self-respect. When you're disciplined, you're telling yourself that your goals matter, your future matters, your word matters. Discipline is honoring your commitments even when no one's watching. It's choosing to live by standards instead of moods. Most people are slaves to how they feel. They quit when things get tough. They delay when things get boring. But the disciplined person keeps moving forward no matter what, because they're guided by principles, not emotions. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well. When you're winning, when you're seeing results, when people are cheering for you, motivation feels natural. But discipline shows its true power in the dark days when there's no applause, no progress, no recognition. That's when discipline steps in and says, I keep going. This is the process. Those who have mastered discipline don't need external validation because they're fueled by internal commitment. They understand that every great achievement was built on thousands of unseen disciplined moments. Disciplined moments. Discipline also protects you from inconsistency. Motivation is like a roller coaster. One day you're high, the next day you crash. Discipline keeps you steady. It makes your effort predictable. And when your effort is predictable, your results become inevitable. It turns chaos into order, dreams into systems, and goals into habits. A motivated person starts fast, but a disciplined person finishes strong. Discipline builds endurance, the kind that carries you through the long, hard road of growth. There's a reason athletes train on days they don't feel like it. There's a reason successful entrepreneurs stick to their schedule, no matter how tired they are. They've learned that feelings are fleeting, but habits are permanent. The world doesn't reward how you feel, it rewards what you do. Discipline ensures that what you do aligns with what you want. Even when your body is tired, even when your mind is filled with doubt, discipline says, just take the next step. And every step you take builds momentum. Eventually, action becomes automatic. You stop negotiating with yourself and start executing. Sometimes people look at the discipline and think they're just naturally motivated. But that's not true. They just learn to act without waiting for motivation. They create a structure in their life that supports consistency. They build systems, morning routine, schedules, priority that make progress unavoidable. Discipline removes the need for willpower. Because when your habits are strong, your success becomes a matter of time, not chance. Motivation gets you started once in a while, but discipline ensures you never stop. The difference between the person who succeeds and the person who gives up isn't talent or luck, it's consistency. And consistency is born from discipline. A disciplined student studies even when tired. A disciplined athlete trains even when sore. A disciplined dreamer works even when the world doubts them. Success is built daily. It's not something you stumble upon by luck or something that just happens overnight. It's the result of thousands of small, consistent, disciplined actions that compound over time. Every day, you're either building your dream or breaking it down through your choices. Success is not built in a single moment of greatness, but in the quiet, unseen moments when nobody's watching, when it's just you and your work. The world only sees the final product, but the truth is that every bit of success is formed brick by brick through discipline, patience, and persistence. Most people fail not because they lack potential, but because they lack consistency. They show up for a few days. They put in effort when it's convenient, but they stop when it gets hard, when boring. But those who truly win, they understand that success is a daily grind. It's the little habits that seem small today, but create massive impact tomorrow. It's getting up at the same time every morning, showing up even when you don't see results yet, staying focused when distractions are everywhere. It's doing the right thing again and again until it becomes part of you. Every day is an opportunity to get closer to your goal. It doesn't matter how small the step is as long as you take it. That's how progress is made. Not by giant leaps, but by small disciplined movements in the right direction. You may not see the change immediately, but trust that it's happening beneath the surface. Just like a seed takes time before it breaks the ground, your effort takes time before it becomes visible success. The problem is, most people quit before that moment. They want instant results, and when they don't see them, they stop. But success isn't instant. It's earned through persistence. You have to understand that success doesn't care about yesterday's effort. You can't work hard one day and expect it to carry you through the week. You have to show up again and again. Discipline is what keeps that fire burning. Discipline is what makes you wake up and grind even when the excitement is gone. You can't microwave greatness. You have to cook it slowly with patience and consistency. Every repetition, every hour of focus, every act of discipline is adding to your foundation. One day, that foundation will be so strong that nothing can shake it. But it only happens if you keep building daily. It's easy to get caught up in the big picture. We dream about success. We visualize the outcome, but we forget that the outcome depends on our daily habits. You can't control how fast you succeed, but you can control how hard you work today. You can control how you spend your hours, how you manage your energy, how you stick to your principles. That's what builds success. Every disciplined day is like laying one brick perfectly in place. Keep laying bricks, and eventually you'll have a wall, solid, unshakable, and built by your own hand. Discipline is the heartbeat of daily success. It teaches you to keep going even when the process feels repetitive. It teaches you to value progress over perfection. It teaches you that consistency is more important than intensity. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to keep doing it. The little progress every day adds up to something incredible. You may not feel it today, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come simply because you refuse to stop. Think of it like training for a marathon. You don't run 26 miles the first day. You build up slowly. You show up each day, run a little farther, and get a little stronger. The same principle applies to success. You're conditioning yourself through repetition. Every day you push yourself a bit more, and your limits expand. Your mindset grows stronger. Your focus becomes sharper. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes your new normal. That's the power of daily discipline. There are no shortcuts to sustain success. You can get lucky once, but you can't stay lucky forever. True success is rooted in habits, in what you do consistently, not occasionally. That's why disciplined people keep winning. They don't depend on chance. They depend on structure. They build systems that make progress inevitable. Whether it's waking up early, reading daily, exercising, or perfecting their craft, they build routines that align with their goals. They don't wait for the right time. They create it through discipline. Every successful person you admire built their life on daily effort. Athletes practice long before they compete. Musicians rehearse endlessly before they perform. Entrepreneurs work tirelessly before they succeed. The world only sees their victories, not their daily struggle. But behind every achievement is a story of consistency. They understood that what they do every day matters more than what they do once in a while. That's why they kept showing up day after day, no matter what. Discipline demands sacrifice. You can't have everything and still expect to reach greatness. Success always has a price. And that price is usually comfort, distractions, and excuses. Most people want to win, but they don't want to give up the things that keep them average. They want to be successful, but still sleep late, scroll for hours, or avoid hard work. Well, you can't have both. You have to decide what matters more, temporary pleasure or long-term purpose. Discipline is choosing to sacrifice what feels good now for what will feel great later. It's understanding that everything you want has a cost, and you must be willing to pay it. Every dream requires something from you. You can't talk about being great while holding on to your comfort zone. You can't expect to level up while keeping the same habits that have held you back. Sacrifice means letting go of the easy path. It means missing out on things that don't align with your vision. It means saying no when everyone else says yes. Discipline doesn't just ask for effort, it asks for exchange. It's giving up sleep for progress, leisure for learning, excuses for execution. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You're giving up something lesser to gain something greater. People often misunderstand sacrifice. They see it as loss, but it's really an investment. When you give up time, comfort, or distraction, you're not losing, you're planting seed. You're trading the momentary pleasure of now for the lasting reward of later. Every hour you spend working on your goals instead of wasting time is an hour invested into your future. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're making a deposit in your success account. Over time, those sacrifices add up. One day they turn into opportunities, achievements, and victories that others only dream of. The truth is, comfort is the enemy of growth. Nothing extraordinary happens inside the comfort zone. Discipline pulls you out of that bubble and pushes you into the uncomfortable spaces where growth lives. It's not supposed to feel easy. Growth feels like pressure. It feels like pain. It feels like saying no to what everyone else is saying yes. But if you're willing to endure that pressure, it will shape you into someone unrecognizable. The best version of yourself is hidden behind the walls of sacrifice. And discipline is the hammer that breaks those walls. There will be moments when you'll question whether it's worth it. It's worth it. When you're tired, when you're lonely, when you see others enjoying what you gave up. But those moments are a test of how badly you want it. Because discipline isn't about what you do when it's easy. It's about what you keep doing when it's hard. Sacrifice hurts, but so does regret. The difference is, discipline hurts now, but regret hurts forever. When you sacrifice today, you create a tomorrow you can be proud of. When you refuse to sacrifice, you stay stuck in the same cycle of wishing and waiting. Look at anyone who's reached greatness. They've all sacrificed something. Athletes give up comfort for training. Entrepreneurs give up sleep to build their vision. Students give up parties to study. Artists give up distraction to perfect their craft. Behind every success story is a list of sacrifices that nobody saw. They didn't just get lucky, they made choices. They traded temporary comfort for permanent change. And that's what discipline does. It teaches you the value of delayed gratification. It teaches you that it's okay to say no now so you can say yes later to something far greater. Discipline doesn't just demand external sacrifices. It also requires internal ones. You have to sacrifice your old mindset, your doubts, your fears, your excuses. You can't hold on to old habits and expect new results. You have to let go of the version of yourself that settles for less. You have to give up the need to be liked, the fear of failing, the addiction to comfort. Discipline is not only about what you do, but also about who you become. Every act of sacrifice transforms you. Every time you push yourself past your limits, you're building mental toughness, resilience, and character. Sacrifice also reveals what truly matters to you. When you're willing to give something up, it means your goal is more valuable than your comfort. That's why discipline and clarity go hand in hand. When you know what you want, it's easier to say no to what doesn't align with it. Most people fail because they don't know what they want badly enough. They sacrifice their future for small pleasures today because they haven't defined their purpose. But when you have a clear vision, discipline becomes easier. You no longer see sacrifice as suffering, you see it as strategy. The beautiful thing about sacrifice is that it builds appreciation. When you've worked hard for something, when you've given up sleep, comfort and convenience for it, you value it deeply. You respect it. Emotion follows discipline. Most people wait to feel ready before they take action. They wait to feel confident, inspired, or motivated. But the truth is, those feelings don't come first. action comes first and emotion follows. Discipline means moving forward, even when your feelings tell you to stop. It's about showing up, putting in the work, and trusting that your emotions will catch up with your action. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for motivation to find them, when in reality, motivation is created by doing the work. You don't wait to feel like it. You do it, and the feeling comes after. There are days when you wake up tired, unmotivated, and uncertain. Days when the dream feels too far away and your energy feels too low to move forward. That's when discipline steps in. It reminds you that your commitment is greater than your feelings. You don't have to feel strong to act strong. You don't have to feel confident to take the first step. You just have to be disciplined enough to move anyway. Once you do, something powerful happens. Momentum builds. And once momentum takes over, emotion follows. The more you act, the better you feel. Discipline creates emotional stability. When you rely only on feelings, your actions are unpredictable. One day you're productive, the next day you're lost. But when you live by discipline, you gain consistency. You control your emotions instead of being controlled by them. You start to realize that feelings are temporary, but your purpose is permanent. Discipline keeps you grounded when your emotions are unstable. It reminds you of your why when your how feels hard. And once you understand emotions are just waves that rise and fall, you stop letting them decide your direction. You become the captain, not the passenger. The problem with waiting for emotion is that it traps you in hesitation. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel ready, but readiness never comes. The mind always finds excuses. It tells you it's not the right time, that you need more rest, that you'll try tomorrow. Discipline breaks that cycle. It silences the excuses and forces you into motion. And the funny thing is, once you start, you almost always feel better. Taking action releases energy. It shifts your focus from doubt to progress. That's the secret. You don't wait to feel better to move. You move to feel better. Every successful person has learned to act before they feel inspired. Athletes don't always feel like training, but they show up anyway. Writers don't always feel like writing, but they sit down and create. Leaders don't always feel confident, but they still make decisions. They've learned that emotion is a byproduct of discipline. You act first, and the feelings of motivation, pride, and satisfaction come afterward. Discipline gives you control over your emotions by proving to yourself that feelings are not facts. You can feel tired and still produce excellence. You can feel afraid and still take the step. When you act consistently through discipline, your emotions begin to change. Confidence starts to grow, not from words, but from proof. Every time you show up when you didn't feel like it, you send a message to your brain. You can count on me. And that's how real self-belief is built. It's not built through pep talks. It's built through discipline. Emotionally strong people aren't those who never feel doubt. They're those who move through it. They've trained themselves to act despite how they feel. The result is emotional resilience, the ability to keep going no matter the emotional weather. You have to understand that emotions are fickle. They're influenced by sleep, diet, stress, weather, and environment. If you let emotions decide your actions, your progress will rise and fall like a roller coaster. But if you let discipline lead, your progress becomes steady. It's like having an anchor in a storm. The waves of emotion may crash around you, but discipline keeps you steady. You might feel like giving up, but your habits keep you going. You might feel like skipping the work, but your structure keeps you on track. That's the power of discipline. It brings consistency when emotions bring chaos. Discipline also teaches emotional control. It doesn't mean you ignore your feelings. It means you manage them. You acknowledge them, but you don't obey them. You might say, I feel tired, but I'll do it anyway. That single choice separates high achiever from everyone else. Because while others wait for a perfect emotional state, disciplined people create results through action. And here's the truth. Once you start, emotions usually shift. The act of doing creates the feeling you were waiting for. You don't need to feel inspired to act. You act to get inspired. There's something deeply empowering about knowing you can move forward, regardless of emotion. It gives you freedom. You're no longer a prisoner to your moods or motivation.